Hell Hades and Ayumi Love are the websites most raid players use to check how good a new champion is or how good a new fusion is. But what if we do more? What if we not only use these rankings and ratings together, but we look at raw stats, we look at multipliers and feed it all into an AI model and see objectively if we can come up with a top 10 best fusions list in Raid Shadow Legends. Hey guys, SMZ here, we're back playing Raid Shadow Legends. And yes guys, I have fed everything to an AI model. I did this exercise of collecting all the data about the fusion champions and basically presented how the fusions have progressed in a video not too long ago. There's a free champion that you can get by using the link in my description. That is Narma the Return, a great champion to battle the Demon Lord. And you can get her alongside other crazy good epic champions like Anax, like Uugo, and like Mausoleum Mage as you progress through the game. How to get these champions for free? Here's how to do it. You go into your Plarium Play and log out of your current account. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email address. Download the game and then play the tutorial, and you will find Narma sitting there chilling in your inbox. And you can get all of these crazy good epic champions as you progress through the game. Do not miss out on this opportunity. Click the link in the description and get these cool champions. This is kind of a follow-up or a build-up on top of that to see what we can do with an objective ranking solution. So what I've done is we have three aspects. The number one aspect is the rating that's given by the Hell Hades website to a particular fusion champion. The second thing is checking the same thing on Ayumi Love. Now Ayumi Love does a tier list like S, A, B, C, and Hell Hades does a numeric system of unto a 5.0. And basically I've made some assumptions along the way. But those are the two metrics. And the third metric is looking at all of the stats of a champion. Now, there are four different kinds of champions. There's an HP champion, defense, attack, and support champion. So for example, if it's an attack champion, we're going to look at its raw attack stat, compare it to the whole global set of attack champions, and see where that champion ranks. Similarly, if it's a defense champion, we'll do the defense, HP champion, HP, and so on and so forth. And then we're going to accumulate all of that into a composite score. And we're going to use all three of these metrics. We are going to weigh the final number, the final rating based on the result of all three of this. I'm going to give a higher rating to the stat totals and the damage multipliers, obviously, but there's going to be a significant impact driven by the Hell Hades rating and the Ayumi Love rating. So with that said, with this theme in mind, let's jump right into it, and I will start off with the number 10 champion on the list. Any guesses, guys? Let me know in the comments at this point in time if you can guess who are gonna be in the top 10 in your opinion before moving forward in the video. So number 10 is gonna be an amazing fusion who was ranked one of the best fusions at the time, and this is gonna be a defense-based champion. We are talking about none other than this defensive powerhouse of a champion, Mr. Helicat. Helicat, when he came out, he was just game-changing. He was a champion that brought basically a 2-turn block damage and this counter-attack and one of the best shields that the game had to offer. And he enabled a lot of clan boss comps back in the day. He's still a very good champion. I have a video on using him in the Chimera very effectively if you want to check that out. He's one of the best champions, and based on the rankings, so let me list that down for you. So he is rated a 4.5 out of 5 stars on Hell Hades. He is rated an A tier on Ayumi Love. So A is right below S tier. For some reason, Ayumi Love is not rating him as high. And then according to my composite score, I am getting him as a 4.0 out of 5 in that ranking, which brings him to number 10 in that list. Very good champion. I'm happy he's actually gone on the list. So Helicat is the number 10 champion. Number 9 on the list is another amazing fusion champion, and this champion is just bonkers. He was rated as probably the best champion in Raid Shadow Legends for a very long time. I'm talking about the crowd favorite champion who enabled a lot of clan boss comps as well as Hydra comps before there was a nerf to a certain rare champion. I'm talking about Under Priest Brogni, this legendary dwarf champion. He was actually, personally, he was my first legendary champion that I ever pulled on this account. and I pulled him in my first month while the fusion was ongoing, so I didn't have to do the fusion, nor could I have done the fusion considering that it was my first month in the game and I didn't know how to play. I didn't even know how to rank up champions. So he wasn't carried throughout my account. He carried me through the early game, and even now I use him more niche than I used to, but he's an incredible champion. He brings basically a block debuffs, shield, the shield that reflects the damage to the attacker. You can do tons of things with it. He's one of the very few champions in the game which can grow shields, which is why he's also becoming instrumental in the new Titus comps that are going out there, and he provides an HP burn. And his HP stat is massive as well, especially for the time that he came out. So on Hell Hades, he's one of the, I think, 3 or 4 champions who are ranked a 5 out of 5 stars on hellhades.com. He is also rated an S tier on Ayumi Love. And looking at all his stats and multipliers, the composite score for this champion is 4.0 out of 5. If this was a couple of years ago, Brogni would be going higher on this list, I am pretty sure. But with the power creep, with all the raw stats coming into the game, it's fallen off just that tiny bit. If I was just looking at the ratings of Ayumi Love and Hell Hades, he would probably be higher on the list. He was also the first hybrid fusion, one of the most difficult fusions out there back in the day. So that's number 9. Moving on to number 8 is another incredible clan boss champion who also enables a lot of unkillable comps, and we are talking about the first HP champion on the list and a first void champion on the list. We are talking about Emic Trunkheart on number 8 in the list. So he is a champion that not only provides the taunt buff, but an unkillable on all allies. He reduces cooldowns, and he also increased the value of shields, but not to that degree. At the start when he came out, he was bonkers. This ability was broken, and then they added this. He became a bit more manageable or a bit less meta because of that. But he's still an incredible champion. You're going to be using him everywhere. You're not going to be unhappy about pulling him. Maybe today, but at least a year ago, you would definitely not be unhappy pulling this champion. And for early and mid-game accounts, he's going to be a game changer. I run him in a Guardian set, as you can see. Hell Hades rates this champion as a 4.0 out of 5 stars. And Ayumi Love rates him in the A tier. And the composite score for the AI algorithm that I used is 4.1 out of 5, considering all his stats. He's the tankiest HP fusion in the game with his 23,130 HP base HP to begin with. Let's move on to number 7, and this is gonna be another void champion. She is rather recent, and she is gonna be the partner to Santa. She's gonna be Lady Noelle, another incredible champion who came out fairly recently, and she is also really good. I did not build her for a long time up until Hard Faction Wars, where I even booked her up, not all the way, but in order to get the chance and some of the cooldown reduced. She revives allies, freeze. She's really good in the arena. If you build her with, instead of Intimidating Presence, Lightning Cage and a Stone Skin build, she's really good, where she basically just pummels, takes all the hits, revives all your team, freezes the enemy, and then your team can kill all the rest. She's also incredible in PvE content, and she can place a freeze irresistible if Sir Nick is on the team, which is rather rare because Sir Nick unfortunately is not that useful, so he's not used that often. But Lady Noelle is an incredible champion. Hell Hades ranks her as 4.5 out of 5 stars. Ayumi Loves puts her in the S tier. And my composite score for this champion is also a 4.1 out of 5 stars. And she is one of the champions who has the S tier from Ayumi Love without the 5.0 rating on Hell Hades, one of the very rare champions that has this particular nuance. So moving on from number 7, we are actually gonna jump and come to the very recent fusion, this attack-based damage dealer that hopefully many of you fused very recently. I am talking about the Hound, Crochard the Throat Ripper, incredible champion. Just look at his raw attack stat, 1729. That's incredible. He's one of very few champions who had that high of a base attack, and his own multipliers are really good, and he's just bonkers with Shayak in the team. His A3 is incredible. He's let me do the Faction Wars Hard 21 boss where I was struggling with, because it's the mirroring boss, which basically flips everything around, and he's helped me kill that boss because this ability is just bonkers. And with Chayak, he's just an incredible champion with his passive. So hellhades.com rates him as a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and Ayumi Love rates him as an A tier champion. And from my scoring, he's also a 4.1 out of 5 stars, and he is a top 1% or the highest attack stat champion in all the fusions out there in the game as of right now. Incredible champion, number 6 on the list. So let's move on to number 5, and number 5 is gonna be a fusion that occurred earlier this year, and that's gonna be a support champion who has just risen in value as time has went on, and this is gonna be Mad Hatter. Incredible champion, especially this part of his A2, where it's basically an ally attack while placing a hex, while placing a weaken. Very good A3 as well, with the turn meter boost and a very nice passive, and stealing or removing buffs basically on his A1 and a debuff spread. Incredible champion. He is basically the basis of one of my Hydra teams, and he's very good at his job. So Hell Hades ranks him as a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and Ayumi Loves puts him on a A tier, and my composite scoring puts it at a 4.2 out of 5 stars, so slightly higher, of course. And he is in the top 3% of total HP when it comes to all the champions in the game, which is incredible for Mad Hatter at number 5. Let's move on to number 4 on the list, and this is a funny one. This is a champion that I actually might have played down a little bit earlier, but this champion does appear on number 4 on the list, and that's, I think, a little bit driven by his massive HP stat as well as good ratings on both websites. Sir Nicholas Santa is that champion who sits on number 4. HP based champion, ranks very highly within HP based damage dealers. He is listed at a 4.0 on Hell Hades. Personally, when it comes to use, I don't think he should be up here, but his utility from his ratings brings him up significantly, as well as his raw stats. So he is a 4.0 on Hell Hades. He's an S tier by Ayumi Love, which is what's taking him so high, and he has a composite score of 4.2 out of 5 stars, and again top 5% HP when it comes to globally. So yeah, Sir Nicholas is number 4 on the list. This is probably the most shocking one, I know. Number 3 on the list is another amazing fusion champion. This is one of the most incredible revivers in the game still, and that's Pythion. Pythion is a Lizardman reviver who's basically carried me in the Lizardman fact. Very honestly, he's been the back support. He's a reviver, he's a cleanser, he's a block debuff champion, he's a great healer, and he also mitigates damage on his passive. Incredible champion. I built him in a bolster set for the hard mode faction wars, as I said. Hell Hades website rates him as a 5.0, another one of the very few champions, and an S tier on Ayumi Love, putting him all the way at number 3. And he's also 4.2 out of 5 stars on the composite score when it comes to all his stats and all his multipliers together. So that's Pythion. And at number 2 is another very recent fusion champion, and maybe they have just been going crazy recently with the fusion champions, but he's definitely on the list. We are talking about another void champion, this time a defense based champion, and I'm talking about Titus Blackplume. Titus is an incredible champion, and you must be wondering, why is this champion not number 1 on the list? But wait till you see the number 1 champion. I think you'll agree that number 1 belongs there. Titus is just bonkers when it comes to the long-term fights, such as the Hydra, such as the Chimera, even Clan Boss. And yeah, he has very good stats. He has very high defense, very good HP total as well. He's rated as a 5.0 on Hell Hades and an S tier on Ayumi Love, and a 4.4 out of 5 stars according to the composite score on the stats and multipliers. Top 5% defense globally as well for this particular champion, and he is incredibly good. Then again, to answer your question, why is Titus not in the number 1 position? So what is in number 1 position is I think it's gonna convince you. I'm talking about, of course, Newt. Newt is a champion who ranks number 1 on this list as the best fusion in Raid Shadow Legends. And I personally agree with that because his Blessed Bash is just incredible. 3-hitter, enemy max HP, decreases the target's defense, which is basically a built-in cruelty, heals him as well, places a counter attack and the 2 very key debuffs, and of course his A1 is incredible for the Fire Knight, both hard mode and normal mode. So very good champion, very good stats on him as well, 1520 defense, 99 speed, 19k HP. He's rated as a 5 out of 5 stars on hellhades.com and in the S tier category by Ayumi Love. And he has a composite score of 4.5 out of 5 stars on the total stats and multipliers. He's in the top 3% defense globally, and of course the perfect 5.0 rating on Hell Hades. Incredible champion if you were able to fuse him or if you were able to pull him. I have been fortunate enough to do both. I have one that I fused and one that I pulled, so I have 2 Newts, which is just a crazy bonkers combination anywhere to kill bosses in the game. Let me know in the comments what you think about this list. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Again, your lists like this are very subjective. Your opinion might differ, so please be respectful in the comments. But please let me know which champion from the past fusions and raid you would put on the list as well. Thank you very much for watching till the end. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. It does help me out tremendously. Thank you very much for watching once again, and see you next time.